Warning. This is the story your mother warned you about. It smells like old Milwaukee and TV dinners, and there's a dangerously drunk janitor in here. So you can stop now and spare yourself the mind-altering tale that I'm about to pour into your ear. Or you can just keep watching to the end and see what happens. Hank's Microwave, Chapter 5, Black Lake. Hank stared at the note from space. Please help us. Right there in the center of his blank TV screen. Words written by tiny aliens, a gaggle of them. He couldn't believe how neat their handwriting was. He picked up the remote and pointed it and pressed the on button. Ginsu steak knife commercial in perfect Technicolor and in stereo, only $19.99. They did fix his TV. Well, shit, said Hank. They're handy little fuckers, I'll give them that. He was still a tad drunk from the night before. He stumbled to the kitchen, unaware of Breivik's crouched behind his box collection of popular mechanics on the bookshelf. Reaching up, Hank flipped on the plastic radio that presided from the top of his refrigerator. Big band music for a Sunday morning. He made breakfast in his blue terry cloth robe, while Ventrix crept behind a bottle of olive oil. For the Morp, big band music really added to their sense of adventure. They just looked really cool, okay? Sneaking around to the saxophones and brushed drum cymbals. For Hank, music took him back to Mabel. It was the first time that she spent the night at his place, Saturday morning. He was in the garage in his undershirt and old blue jeans, wrenching on his electric glide. That's a motorcycle, of the Harley-Davidson variety, circa 1978. It was a shovelhead, bored and stroked with branch heads, a big cam that shook the back fender like a rattlesnake, and an S&S Super B for lungs. And boy did she have a pair. She shook the windows. Hank called her Big Lucy. Mabel leaned on the back door of the garage, watching him. She wore one of his flannel shirts, nothing else. She'd been there 5 minutes already, and he didn't even notice. She liked watching him work. It was as if she could feel his movements, his contemplation, as the birds chirped peacefully over the backyard. He looked back and got a surprise. Hey, he said. Didn't see you there. Oh, I know, she said. When'd you get up? Just now. What's going on with your motorcycle? Cleaning the jets and checking the float. Oh, she said, with no clue what he meant and obviously not caring at all. She just left it there and kept staring at him. You want to go get some breakfast or something? He said. I got breakfast, Big Rig, she said. You get that motorcycle running. I want to go for a scoot. Hank was thunderstruck. He didn't have many girlfriends before Mabel, and none of them wanted anything to do with Big Lucy. What? You want to go for a ride? Yeah, you heard me. Come on. What, you gonna tell me you got that big shiny thing and you don't even keep it running? Let's see it. I need some wind in my hair, Captain. I'm a woman of adventure. What, you think I'm just gonna lay around like your eye candy all day? All right, shit, said Hank. It might take a few hours, though. I gotta put the top end back on. Yeah, she said. Top end. Look, I'll make the breakfast. You work on your motor scooter, and I'll give you a shout when it's ready. Okay, said Hank, like an obedient student. She winked at him and spun on his flannel shirt and left him with his big band music. He smiled at Big Lucy, loving life. She made him wash his hands in the basement sink. She told him to get those greasy things away from her. They had dinner with the big band music on the radio on the top of the refrigerator. She had made the best lasagna he'd ever had. Garlic bread, too. They laughed and ate. She told him that she wanted ice cream. Perfect, he said. I know just the spot. He smiled and sighed, knowing it was going to be a good ride down a country road to the ice cream stand he had in mind. She'd love it. "Now, you got the backrest," he said in the garage as he prepped the bike. "So you'll be in there pretty good. Here's your foot pegs. Now just make sure you lean with me in the corners, not against me. Not a huge deal. It just makes it a little..." Mabel threw her leg over Big Lucy before he could finish and settled in. I know, she said. "Look, this ain't my first rodeo, cowboy. Let's go get some ice cream." Hank chuckled and kick-started her over. In the echo chamber of the garage, with the garage door open to the evening air, Big Lucy was at savage volume. She sounded like a top fuel dragster in suburbia. The evening light beyond the door thinned to that grainy haze you'd see at dusk when you're young and going to the edge of town. He unleashed her clutch and rode out. Big Lucy's pistons, forged aluminum slugs, thundered through Mabel as they cruised down Park Avenue in second gear, slow. Like every Harley rider, Hank spent the first few blocks dialing in the choke, bent over the bike like some sort of fugitive. The dashlight under his speedometer glowed a soft green, adding to the wonder of the moment in a big way. A few traffic lights later, they approached the edge of town and open road. The light turned green and Hank opened her up, roaring to the top end of second gear and into third, power band. Thunder poured through the bike's chrome pipes, echoing off the brick craftsman houses and the ranchers they left behind in the haze. For the two of them, the janitor and the school bus driver, it was their time to feel rebellious for a moment, to scream into the wind after so many weeks and months of obedient silence, of mopping the floors, or wheeling that big-ass school bus around full of snot-nosed kids. He lifted her into fourth gear, where Big Lucy would settle into a long gallop, stretching out over the big country road. The landscape rushing by shifted from blue-collar town to green trees and fields. The sun set over a cornfield, burnishing the sky and the trees and the leaves in an orange glow from the edge of creation. Mabel squeezed Hank with her legs. She was happy and in her glory. The road streamed by under their boots. In the chrome headlight cover, he watched the sky ripen like a plum in a bowl of stars. He smiled at the spring cold air that poured through his jeans. Hank dropped the dish he was washing and it pulled him back out of his reverie. There he was, alone again, with only the sound of the refrigerator pump and the grandfather clock to keep him company. Each tick punctuated his loneliness. He grabbed his plate of breakfast, bacon and eggs, and shuffled to the living room, barefoot. The couch didn't offer any company either, and he slapped his plate on the tray and sat down and settled in for breakfast while the TV prattled on. The Word Roll was on, a game show. He didn't give a shit. He salted his eggs to the game show introduction music. Lots of trumpets and electric pianos and fanfare. The audience was going crazy. Straight to you from Spotlight City, it's the Word Roll with your host, Jimmy Dazzle. Jimmy Dazzle emerged from backstage, where he just finished his smoke. He glided down his entrance steps to the apron of the main stage, with open arms and laughter to greet his adoring fans. His sport coat might have been cut from the felt of a pool table, green and crisp. "Hey everybody, hey there, look at you, hello," said Jimmy Dazzle. He quieted the crowd with a subtle hand gesture as he approached his peach-colored podium. "Welcome to the Word Roll. We can find millions behind any letter." The crowd exploded into manic applause and tears of joy. It took them a full 15 seconds to quiet down. If they were his employees, Jimmy would have torn them a new one, screaming with his neck full of veins. But he had to play nice. People were watching. The camera swept over the crowd, seeking the next lucky contestants to play the Word Roll. It panned the audience, a predatory camera, building the excitement as the lighting crew scanned the fans with the spotlights. The bedazzlement was almost too much for them. Then the camera stopped at a housewife from Tacoma. A chubby ginger in the flower dress. She raised her palms to her cheeks and screamed like a child and ran down to the stage. Next there was a CPA from Dayton, a skinny young man in a sweater vest, with a haircut straight out of the Boy Scouts catalog. Square. "Welcome to the roll!" More thunderous applause. "Hi there, Molly," said Jimmy Dazzle. "Where are you from?" "Oh my God, I'm from Tacoma, Jimmy! Oh my God!" She stepped from foot to foot, her excitement too much to bear. "Well, welcome to the show, Molly. You ready to roll the dice?" "I'm ready." She nearly fell from excitement. "But first," said Jimmy Blaze, "let's meet our other contestant. Hello, sir." He finally got a look at the name tag. "Fred. Fred, welcome. Where are you from, Fred?" "Dayton," said Fred. He had the excitement level of almond toast. "Ah, Ohio," said Jimmy Blaze, like he just made it up. Canned laughter. "Well, let's see what you two are playing for today." The voiceover announcer described their prizes over a bed of dazzling music. Meanwhile, a stunning brunette in mile-long legs posed near a pair of jet skis, an all-expenses-paid trip to Tampa, and a home theater system. The game was afoot. "Ladies first," said Jimmy Blaze. "Go ahead, Molly." She threw her red casino dice, candy red with ice white dots, like on the album cover of Bad Company's Straight Shooter. "It's an 8, said Jimmy Blaze. "That means you get to pick a consonant, Molly. What'll it be?" "Give me an H, Jimmy." "Let's see if we have any H's." The model with the legs turned over 3 H letters. Molly lost her shit, but she struck out on the next roll. It was Fred's turn to roll the dice. He got to pick a vowel, and he picked a good one, E. There were 4 of them. Everyone was over the top excited, especially Molly. Jimmy Blaze did his best to keep them all hyped while he kept the show rolling. They had a fucking schedule to keep. He guided them along the best he could, but the contestants were too dim-witted to guess the riddle. There, in bright white letters on the TV for the whole world to see, a message that stopped Hank cold in mid-bacon chew. It said, "Hank, we need your help. Please help us." "What the fuck?" said Hank. The whole nature of the show changed before his eyes. The Morp had taken over. The audience went dead quiet and the lights dimmed, leaving the pastel colors of the game show set in the shadows, along with Jimmy Blaze. The shot zoomed in on the spinning, illuminated letters. They were all spinning now, and when they stopped, they said the following. "Hank, give us the code and we'll leave." "Code?" said Hank to his TV, alone in his living room. "What code?" A microwave commercial popped on. Hank just stared at it dumbly. It was a cheap commercial for a cheap microwave. It spun there on a plate. Only $49.95. Hank just kept eating, dipping his toast. Another microwave commercial came on the TV, annoying Hank greatly. Only this time, there was an actor in the shot, Henry Fonda. Hank had been watching westerns earlier that week. "This model fits perfectly into every American home," said Henry. "It's got it all. Popcorn setting, pizza slice. Look, there's a button here for potato. There's defrost." Midway through his sentence, Henry stopped and looked dead into the camera. "Hank," said Henry. "What the? Holy shit, not this again." Hank threw down his fork. He couldn't eat anymore. "Hank, listen. You gotta listen to me. It's important. Hank, these little alien fellows know how they can get home now. They can get out of your hair. No offense. They just need your help." "Well, what the fuck am I supposed to do?" said Hank. "All you gotta do is make Mabel's oyster casserole again like you did," said Henry. "What? That? Hell, I don't know what I did. I was drunk as hell." "It's okay, Hank. They got the recipe. The main one realized that when she scanned Mabel's casserole when they first got here. They just need you to set the timer on the microwave. They don't know that part, Hank, you see. Well, shit, I don't remember. Like I said, I was drunk. Try, Hank, try, you must. Try to remember. See, it was probably just 5 minutes or something. 5 minutes? Yeah, said Hank. Okay, let's do that then. Now wait a minute, said Hank. How do I know I can trust these aliens? For all I know, I punch in 5 minutes and bang, they blow up the whole world. What? It could happen. Well, that just won't happen, Hank, said Henry. But you don't have to take my word for it, no. These Morp got one better. They're going to help you in return. Help me? Yeah. How? Now don't get all offended, Hank. We know this is a touchy subject for you. And they'll do this with all the due respects and more. What? Said Hank. Hank, they can help you see where Mabel is for a moment. And how it's okay. And you'll be able to feel her, Hank. You'll never get over her, we know that. But they can help you get on. Doesn't that sound good? Hank broke down. You see, it was the first time anyone ever talked to him about Mabel in an unfiltered way. In a way that was beyond the standard, so sorry, and she's in a better place now. It was in a way that flipped the switch and opened the floodgates. Somehow Henry's voice got through from the TV. And all that crushed emotion that Hank had been shoving down came surging to the surface like a breaching blue whale. He sobbed uncontrollably. He wept there in his living room, alone with the aliens and Henry Fonda, watching him. Hank looked at the TV, tears in his eyes. How? He asked. Well, this is the tricky part, Hank. You need to let one of them touch you. That's it? Just touch me? Yeah, that's it. What'll happen? You'll just feel what it's like and see. You'll like it, Hank. It'll help you. Hank agreed with hesitation. Yeah, said Henry. Good. Okay, Hank. They're going to show themselves to you now. Remember, they're friendly. They mean you no harm. But you might want to sit down. Hank sat down on his couch. One by one, the Morp crept out from their hiding places, their gelatinous appendages wiggling, their little beady eyes blinking. From behind the mini blinds and the grandfather clock, they crept out. From the bookcase and from behind the TV, Hank watched them approach his coffee table with wide eyes. They gathered there on his coffee table, Guider, Tinker, Quibbly, the whole lot of them except for Maloon. You're doing great, Hank. Remember, they're friendly. They're here to help. Okay, said Hank. Maloon climbed onto the couch and smiled at Hank in a friendly way. She reached out and touched him with her tiny, gelatinous appendage. A silver vortex swept through Hank and rolled his eyes back. He slumped into the couch and separated from his mortar coil. He left it behind in the living room and drifted up through the ceiling and through the brown attic rafters and through his slate roof. He felt the blue sky wrap around him, cool and full of moisture, until he realized that there was no him to wrap around. He was the sky. He curled into the thermosphere and felt her there, Mabel. It was as if she was laying there beside him on a Sunday morning. He could feel the weight of her next to him, her warmth, her hair. He could smell her breath and realized she was synchronized with him. Her heart, her lungs, her long blinking eyelashes. They inhaled as one, and they were on the surface of a perfectly calm lake. He'd never seen that lake before, and yet it felt familiar. It was immense and black, and stretched out to the mountains and trees on the distant horizon's edge. The view in every direction under the aurora borealis sky filled them with wonder. A small town nestled along a sleepy edge of a lake, its windows full of yellow candlelight. The water smooth as glass. Hank and Mabel melted below the surface as one, feeling the stars, the mountains, the trees, the water. An enormous sense of peace enveloped them underwater, a sense of home. He could feel their connection to the cosmic filaments. And best of all, he could feel Mabel's love, still there and fierce as ever, and still with him. She was in the good place. She was the one who was home. Malone let go of him and tore him back to his mortal coil.